Hello, my name is Dr. Scott Young with Hearing Solutions Centers, and today we're going to talk about the AGX9, the active listening lifestyle. Coming right up. Okay, so when we get to this part, we have the person in the AGX9. So AGX3 is a person in a very quiet lifestyle where they're around very little noise. It's normally because of age or physical condition. A person in an AGX5 in that the quiet lifestyle is backed off a little ways. They're not around all the noises. The AGX7 has backed off a little bit, but they may be newly retired and they're still going around to different places. And then we have the AGX9 for a person in the craziest of noise settings. Now, I'm going to give you one patient, and we're going to walk through this, all four of these categories here, okay? So my patient that came into me, I didn't see him in that category, but I know what he was talking about. This is a heart surgeon, okay, a cardiologist. And when he was working, he's in surgery, and if he was wearing hearing aids, which he should have at the time, because he had hearing loss way before he retired, he would have been in the AGX9 or that active lifestyle where he's listening to internal background sounds and he can't adjust those. It needed to be done inside of his hearing aids. Now, when I first saw him, he retired. We got him in the AGX7 type of technology because he's retired, but he's still on the board of a lot of hospitals and all kinds of different things that he was doing and around Bible studies and around, lectures and still getting his CEUs and all of that stuff. Then I started to see him, and this is when I knew the change was happening from that casual lifestyle into a quieter situation. He had a bruise on the bottom right around his cheek. Now, first off, as an audiologist, we study a little bit about sociology and our social situations, and I'm thinking spousal abuse, elder abuse. I mean, I'm doing the nefarious. And I asked him. I said, "What happened?" And he says he hit a laminates kind of area. I don't remember exactly what it was, and I'm still kind of wondering if it was the lie, because I'm sorry, that's just what I worry about, right? If he's trying to cover up something, until he walks around our hallway and he stumbles against the side of and I realize that he's lost his balance. And he moved himself into that. Years and years later, he was in that AGX5, the quiet lifestyle. Now, he had those hearing aids for a very long time until I saw him in this one church, and he was in a walker. He didn't get out anymore. He wouldn't come in for adjustments because he just couldn't come in, and he was really in the very quiet lifestyle. So a person can move through these categories depending upon situations of their health, their lifestyle, their choices, and their age. But a person who is in those active situations, they tend to stay there for as long as they can. Now, if they're not able to move into those things and they're backing off from life, and they want to be in that because of their dreams and desires, well, that's what we need to do to help focus that. But we also have people who are working. Now, a person who's working and maybe is my age, 54 years old, and he's going to these meetings. I used to do meetings all the time in restaurants, okay? So I used to rep for a hearing aid manufacturer that's no longer existent anymore. And I would sit in these places and talk and interact. And I remember this one place called Macaroni Grill. It doesn't even exist. One of the loudest places in the world. I mean, there was these wine bottles all around that would reverberate sound. And I'm listening to people. I had perfect hearing. I knew that. And I was in my 30s. And I had perfect hearing. And I asked the other audiologists, "Do you guys have perfect hearing?" "Yeah." "Do you notice how much struggle we're having interacting with one another?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Guess what? Multiply that when we have a patient who is in a mild, moderate, severe, whatever kind of hearing loss. And we're having difficulty in a noisy place. So the AGX 9, the top-end technology, has automatic controllers inside of that. They have these strong noise controllers that you can kind of back off depending upon what you need. Now you might want it to go active all the time so that it's always focusing. These kind of things have 120 separate adjustments inside of there. That might be exactly what you need because of your active listening lifestyle. But here's the cool part. Now we're streaming it, as we've kind of shared with you in the AGX 5 and the AGX 7, but now you have the ability to tweak it, and you tweak it even more. You can create environments in which it's geotagged. So if you walked in to that crazy macaroni grill, you could geotag it with an exact noise setting and high frequency, low frequency, sound, volume, whatever you wanted to do. Boop, pop that sucker, and you could name it macaroni grill, just as an example. And as soon as you walked into that place, because it geotags to that area, you walk in the place, the hearing aid goes boom, boom, it's right into that mode. And that's the cool stuff. It doesn't mean you can't adjust it a little bit depending upon what noisy situation that might happen, but that's a part of what you can do. You can also stream in through an iPad, through an iPhone, which I do when especially when I'm on an airplane. I want to watch something, I can stream it in right in through my hearing aids. And I'm streaming in the whole thing. So I'm streaming in a movie right to my ears, and I can reduce down the background noise. I can actually shut out as much as the surrounding noise right inside of that streaming mode. So there's cool things that you can do, as many as 15, 20 different adjustments inside of your phone to be able to tweak that, or inside of your iPad or tablet. What happens for audiologists is that we've had to really change our situation. I have to be a cell phone specialist now. I have to know what they're doing. I have to communicate with people. I have this one patient that purchased an Android G20, and we were struggling with the Bluetooth. It was unhooking. I checked out the hearing aids, I'd send it back, and they're like, man, we replaced them, but there was nothing wrong with them. When I looked up what the G20 was doing, it had a very poor Bluetooth capability. It would unhook with every Bluetooth. So it wasn't the hearing aids, it was the Bluetooth of the phone. I've had another patient, had the AGX9, one of the greatest, coolest guys I've ever, had these really interesting ears, very tough ears to fit. His ears would stick out like this, okay? And just tough ears to fit when we did that. With any type of technology, we had to work really hard to get him right. And he was struggling with his phone, and he was, saying they're unhooking, they're having troubles. And I kept checking with him. I even went to the Apple store with him. We'll do that. We'll go the extra mile. Went to the Apple store, we're checking it out. Then he said when he was at the Apple store, he realized, he kind of met me there, and he had his phone in his pocket at church, and the phone was heating up. And the Apple store guy and me looked at it and said, that's a battery. And we both instantly knew it at that moment. And guess what happens? If you have a bad battery, your Bluetooth's gonna mess up. You see, that's the things that we have to do to find out the right kind of way to take care of your needs. And that's part of the e-patient process, to be able to identify the things that are important to you and get the right kinds of technologies to pull those things in, an all-inclusive kind of package to find out the needs. We don't charge you extra for that stuff. We want to be able to have it inside of there. Now, some people will argue with me about, charging for every single little thing because they can save money. But guess what happens down the road? You'll have to pay for it. What we do is it's one package, it's a reasonable price, and when we do that, we can take care of you for years down the road. And they say, do I owe anything? No, you don't owe anything. Because our hearing aids come with a 3-year warranty, a 3-year loss and damage policy. with 3 years of batteries or rechargeable. We come with, when you get into the AGX 9, it's every single little thing that's out there. So I've had patients that come in. Remember my patient I just said that had the G20 just a second ago? Because she had this phone and she bought it, she's kind of stuck. She spent $1,000 on this dumb phone and she's really struggling with that. I said, okay, I'm gonna get you a remote control because she's very sensitive to sounds. So I got her a remote control, didn't charge her anything extra, but she needed just a little bit of a tweak when she's as a chaplain in this cancer treatment place. So it's that kind of stuff to adjust the needs of that patient. We take that extra mile kind of process. We can do remote programming so she can have that need and tweak it and do all this fun stuff. And we don't charge you extra, guys. There's so much that we have to do and we keep up with. I mean, my staff, I have 7 staff members, including me, and we work together and we talk about things. And it doesn't matter if you got the top end technology to the lowest end technology. We care the same thing as here as there. My people don't get compensated differently based upon that. It's finding the right thing that's right for you. So if you've listened to this whole series of the AGX 3, the AGX 5, the AGX 7, and the AGX 9, we're trying to find what you need, not based upon the stupid idea of the money, but based upon what your ears, what your lifestyle, and what your desires are telling us, along with a few other neurological issues that we're looking at. So if you're interested in what we do, come and talk to us at heartulsa.com, HEAR Tulsa.com. Subscribe, like, share this with your friends. Thank you so much.